welcome to Kim with Kim. I'm Kim, and today we are going to talk about a topic that I saw when the Republican presidential candidates were having their debate. I tuned in. None of them are getting my vote. I just tune in to know like how they look, who do I think is going to be, who goes to go up against the, Democratic candidate. So, I was just interested. And something that really stuck out to me was a question about the US Navy. So, just some, just to lay the baseline really quick. So, right now, the US Navy is no longer the largest navy, right? It is now China. So, China has a navy that is about 730 vessels. The US has about 300, but it also has about 484 when you look up the numbers that can be active. Now, the question was that China's military is 730 fleet. The US is very behind in developing, blase, blase. And, what are the Republican candidates? What are they going to do to grow it? And everything they were saying was so unrealistic to me. Like, when I say unrealistic in money and resources and time, like you're trying to grow the fleet in a year with what accommodations, and things like that sound good to people. It sounds official, right? Sounds like something that's going to be done. And really, like, you wouldn't be able to grow the US fleet to another 100 ships in a year. You just wouldn't be able to do that. That is something that's going to take about maybe 3 years, realistically. China has the means to keep growing, and that's why their fleet has come up to 730. But what really struck me is that all the candidates did was put down the current, Democratic Party. They put down Biden, they put down Obama, they put down the fact that they didn't work on strengthening our Navy enough, and now this is why China is the leading Navy power, and how are we, supposed to do all of these things and protect the country and all these things with such a small Navy compared to 730. And then we're actually like, so it's China with 730, then it's Russia, and then it is North Korea, and then the US. So we're fourth in size, right? But none of them spoke on the strength that is our US Air Force. Our US Air Force is the most powerful in the world. And when you look at that and our Navy, first off, our Navy has more military power than China's. Even though it's 730 fleet, our 300 ships are more military capable than the current 730 to China. And also, you have the Air Force. So our Air Force, the largest and the strongest, we have 11 carrier ships to bring our US Air Force anywhere in the world. China has 2. China has 2 carriers, okay? That doesn't compare to 11. And the US hasn't lost an aircraft carrier since World War II. They're very hard to take down. It happened in World War II. It hasn't happened since, and the types of ships we have from then to now, much better. So just bear that in mind when you are listening to these candidates speak what is actually feasible. They cannot grow our military at the things that they're saying, at the rate they're saying. And when you hear a question about the current, like, no matter who becomes president, you're taking on this country. So you should be bragging about what this country has, not what it doesn't have. So we have the largest Air Force. We might have a smaller Navy. Our Air Force combined protects literally the world. Literally the world. Our submarine power, we can go anywhere unseen. And I feel like when you look into those things, that's why we feel like safe. That's why the military for the US is the world military almost. And I just get very thrown off about things like, it's just a line for me. It's just a line because I don't think there's any reason for these people to be up there lying like that and saying these things. So, like I said, when you're listening to these debates, you're listening to whoever the candidate is, and they're saying these unrealistic goals, just bear in mind what we have is already strong, and anything progressing to that is going to be better because, like I said, what we have and what we're building and what we focus on are the things that make sense. So if you have 11 carriers compared to somebody's 2, you can now fly over their ships and destroy them. And if you think that that's not enough, it's also, like I said, the military strength that the US constantly has. Like, our innovation level might not be on the level of China's in production and numbers, but it is gonna succeed them in the actual strength and the actual, when it comes to a fight or when it comes to an all out, like in combat or, up against arms. I wouldn't worry about China. Even though their military is stronger, those ships just can't take on the current US ships. And you bring in the Air Force. And I just think that, like I said, when these candidates are speaking, all they do is put down the current president. They continuously put down Biden and what he's not focusing on, which is of course their job. Like, they're not there to keep him as president. But like I said, brag about your country, because you could sit here and make people feel safe. I don't think making people feel unsafe is the way to win a presidential race. So just bear that in mind as we go into an election year. And, always, do it for you. Look up your own stats. Look up your own strengths. Look up what will make you feel better about being here or wherever you are. And, don't sit here and think that everything somebody says, especially in politics, is true. Okay? That was my Kim with Kim for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe. I will put up the finished look when I'm done. But bye.